Today I ducked up by realizing that my ceiling fan has been making my bedroom a sauna for 11 years. I've been living in this house for the past 11 years. In my bedroom there's a ceiling fan that I always have on to try and make my room colder. My room has always been insanely hot compared to the rest of the house and I never understood why. Flash forward to today when I'm talking to a friend that said they found out their fan can switch directions to heat the room in the winter. I immediately realized my fuck up. When I got home I took a closer look at the fan, and hiding by the light is a little black switch. I hit the switch, and what do you know, my room is about 10 degrees colder in minutes. I've been sleeping in a sauna for the past 11 years, and had no idea. Every day in the summer waking up sweaty was because of a tiny black switch. TLDR, my ceiling fan has been spinning the wrong direction, and heating my room for 11 sweaty years. LPT, clean the fan blades before having the fan change directions. Now, right? I just wait until it's thick enough and I just lick that stuff off. Tasty snack FTW. Edit. Thanks for the silver and for my IRL cake day. Edit. And my all-time highest rated comment. I love you guys. Yo what? He said he is going to lick the dusty fan blade. Pretty clear I thought. MMMM skin and mites. Yum. And hair from you. Pets and wigs made from dead hookers. My hookers are made to exfoliate and shave their bodies before they enter my house. It puts the lotion in the basket. It puts the fluff on the Garfield. Even their heads. I make them wear hair nets, and there's plastic sheets on the floors and walls. Doesn't seem to make them skittish. Your fan sucks, but you just found out it also blows. Just like your mother, Trebek. It doesn't heat the room. Per se, one direction pulls air up from the floor and the other blows down. Both will keep the air circulating. The one that blows air down will make you feel cooler because it's blowing air directly onto you, like a fan. To clarify, the point of winter mode is not to pull air up from the floor, but to push the air on the ceiling down the walls. Since heat rises, the warmest air in the room sits against the ceiling. It's effectively wasted because we don't live our lives on the ceiling. Unless you have a bunk bed, your thermostat keeps trying to add heat to the room because it doesn't know there's all this wasted heat above it. You want to push that warm air down to mix with the cool air below so you're warmer, and b, your thermostat doesn't turn on the heat as often. But you don't want the fan to push air down the way it does in the summer because the breeze against your skin would make you feel cold. What winter mode does is reverse the fan direction, forcing the warm air to travel along the ceiling and down the walls. That way you're still mixing the warm air down where you live, but you're not blowing it directly on you in a way that will make you cold. Too bad you weren't here 2 hours ago. So much misinformation here tonight. You could say people are spreading fan fiction. As a dad, I hereby approve this joke. As a joke, I hereby approve this dad. As a hereby, I joke approve this dad. Hereby as a this, I approve this joke dad. Hi dad, I'm a joke. I didn't even know this was a thing. Other time to consider it is, if the fan is over a dining area, you might want it blowing upwards regardless of season, so your food doesn't cool off too fast. What if I want the smell to stay low? No fan, maybe? Joke's on you, I don't even have a fan, or a dining room, technically. Well, technically any room you eat in is now a dining room. TIL my computer desk chair where I eat my chicken tenders with Doritos and Mountain Dew counts as a dining room table. I bet you can have some nice dinner parties and game nights with that setup. No room on the table, I sit on the floor and eat off my chair. The direction the fan spins does not change the temperature in the room. It's merely that direct airflow from downdraft feels cooler on the skin. And blowing upwards helps move the warmer air closer to the floor where you are, or at least mix it, without creating as much direct wind. Well, it feels cooler, because you are cooled. Your temperature decreases. You can tell by the way it is. That's pretty neat. I learned about that switch from a Facebook meme and friends overseas. I'm in Australia, saying they had to switch their fan to winter mode. Like, WTF is winter mode? My boyfriend has a ceiling fan in his house and switched it before winter set in. It works. I was amazed. Lol. Winter mode is where the downward edge of the blade is leading the spin. The top edge is angled to where it's pushing air up, and this in turn circulates all the warm air in the top of the room down to replace the cold air. In winter, you want your fan on low to maximize convention. Edit. By down, I mean, it pushes cool air up through the center of the fan and hot air down in a circle around the edges of the room. Summer mode is the downward edge tailing the spin, and the upward edge leading it. This could us by generating a breeze regardless of where the hot or cold air is. I did the same forever in my apartment in the desert, but then when I realized I was too excited and didn't clean the blades off before switching spin direction, dust everywhere. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Am I taking crazy pills here? The direction the fan blows isn't going to make any difference, not unless it is blowing directly on you, in which case you will cool down through convection or something. But the temperature of the room will be completely unchanged. This thread is super weird. Fans don't cool rooms. Fans cool people. Fans don't cool people. People cool people. It just pulls air up instead of pushing air down. It's a minor change that absolutely doesn't drop the temperature 10 degrees. Or at all in most cases. Temperature stays the same. Airflow changes the perceived temperature though, and that still matters. Yeah, they can switch direction. But neither direction makes the room colder. In fact, leaving a ceiling fan on continuously in a closed room will make the room hotter. The electric motor that makes the fan spin also radiates heat. Fan on continuously in a closed room and will kill you if you're Korean. It's amazing that superstition can make the most sensible people seem ignorant. Being ignorant does that, yes. FYI, all that switch does is reverse the way that the blades spin. It's not a magic switch that makes the fan go from hot to cold. It will not lower the temperature in a room by 10 degrees. If your room felt like a sauna before, it will feel like a slightly more tolerable sauna now. This is why we pay attention in physics. LMAO. So do you actually think the fan heats the room up when it's rotating the wrong way? What the actual F? Finally a TIFU that doesn't involve jizz. I hope you know you can also open the window. Worth mentioning in case OP has overlooked other sources of relief. Personally, I also put down my winter jacket when going to sleep. Lol, fans don't heat rooms. They change directions of the airflow is all. I once had a friend who thought that if you turned the blades upside down, it would work better. She heard the same thing, but didn't understand. I cannot make this up. I still love her. 10 degrees with only changing the direction of the air circulation of a fan. I'm not yet a believer. Ha, reminds me when I was doing a maintenance supervisor position at an aged facility that had dementia wings. Old guy in dementia wing asked for the fan's blades to be switched to summer, and I laughed, and he was dead serious. I couldn't read this guy, but I had a ladder anyway. I had been previously a nurse with the same company for years but different facility. Anyway, I know to not fight them and just kinda show them they are wrong, or whatever it is, isn't actually there. I get to the fan and see the same black switch and a sticker covered in dust next to it that had big black doubles-ended arrow and read summer/winter. Absolutely blew my mind. Only 10 degrees. When I flipped the switch I perceived a 180-degree change. Now that's cool. ITT. People changing their fans to summer mode 3 weeks before fall comes. How the 25k upvotes based on a complete falsehood. The direction of airflow in your room due to your ceiling fan does not alter the ambient temperature of the room. You either are pulling air up from the center and down the walls, or down from the ceiling through the center. The winter and summer labels these directions are known as has nothing to do with the fan warming/cooling the room, but properly mixing the higher hot air with the cooler floor air, so your thermostat runs accordingly. To clarify, with AC or heat running, any airflow in a room will mix regardless of fan direction, but the direction of airflow will not alter the actual temperature in a room, especially not by something as preposterous as 10 degrees. So if I turn my office fan in the opposite direction I can heat the place up for free. Who knew that thermal dynamics work like this? So global warming is caused by all those helicopters blowing hot air up to the North Pole. It was under our noses all along. We've cracked the case. Time to go home now. So you're telling me for 11 years you didn't realize that you didn't feel a breeze from the fan? How do you figure out what side of a box fan to stand on? It doesn't heat the room, dude, it just pulls up the cold air from the floor and mixes it with the warm air up top. It's making your room slightly more even at best, lol. The fan doesn't actually make the room colder or hotter, it just redistributed the air. Warm air settles up higher at the ceiling, so if you set the fan to suck the air up towards the ceiling, it pushes that warm air out towards the walls and then down, and you will feel warmer. In the summertime, you set the fan to blow air downwards, and although the room temperature doesn't change, the breeze from the air blowing directly down on you work to help evaporate the sweat on your skin, to cool your body down. 10 degrees colder my ass, 1 or 2 degrees maybe. Quality duck up, which doesn't involve some grotesque disgusting sex act, which is the trend these days. 21k up votes. Humanity is ducked. Our daughter's room was always the hottest in the home. One day as I was putting her down, I noticed the ground in her room was noticeably hot. We don't have in-floor heating. Fast forward, we figured out it was the lights in the kitchen downstairs that get so hot the heat permeates through the floor and into her room. We had to switch light bulbs and noticed a difference immediately. I have never thought about the heat that's produced by light bulbs, but it is significant. I have to check something. I can relate to that partially. Once me and my wife and our kid went for a vacation into a remote place. Note: in Russia AC or room fans are not included into standard list of hotel room equipment, as most of the year rooms require heating, not cooling. So anyway, it is summer, and we rented out one room on the top floor of a small cottage near seaside. There was no fan or AC in it, but otherwise it was properly furnished, and even had a fridge which we extensively used. There were 2 small windows, but only one could be opened. Anyway, I noticed over time that room was insanely hot. I attributed it to effect from sun heating the roof of the building as sunny days finally began. We tried to spend as much time outdoors as possible. It was vacation anyway, but it was horrible at night. So one night our toddler managed to switch the fridge off, and Noon noticed it. In the morning I noticed that the room was much cooler and the fridge was off and leaked water. That is when I remembered principle on which fridges work. Pretty cool. I can't imagine that having the fan switch directions would cause a 10-degree difference in temperature. Can someone explain? Is the bottom of the room 10 degrees cold/hotter than the top of the room? Still SMH at the sheer amount of people that don't understand this. This planet is beyond salvation. I'm officially out. Just gone. It's not heating or cooling anything. It's just the direction the air is propelled. Is this a whoosh, or are people really this stupid? Isn't this the opposite of a TIFU? Today you redeemed yourself. Or today you realized you're duck up. You ducked up for 11 years. 40k plus redditors think ceiling fans can cool and heat rooms. This is great. You should set ceiling fans should to draw air up in the winter and blow air down in the summer. Thanks for watching to the end. Remember to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and punch the subscribe button in the face.